Good morning, students. We are going to learn about this classification of ecology. Okay, there are two terms we have to learn with. So, classification of ecology. So, ecology you can classify into Autecology and the Synecology. Why we are calling as Autecology? It is an individual study of an organism. Okay, so you can see in the population, you can see in individual species. Tree in a forest is an example where we are learning what interrelationship of tree with the tree population with their environment. Then what about Synecology? Synecology, as the term indicate, it is a study of group of organism. So Autecology means what? Autecology means individual organism. Okay, individual organism. And Synecology means you are going to study about a group of organism, a community. Okay, it is the community. You are going to study organism as a whole together as a unit. So for example, forest as such. Okay, forest as such you are going to learn about. So with its structure, nature, development and the distribution on the community. So this is the Autecology and Synecology. Autecology means individual species. We are going to study about individual species in the and its interaction with the environment. Synecology, you are going to study about the group of organism that exists in the environment, its community. Okay, group of organism or a community of organism existing in the nature. Now we have to study about different types of ecosystem: terrestrial ecosystem, freshwater ecosystem, marine ecosystem and estuarine ecosystem. I think we have dealt through this, and this is all together we are calling as habitat ecology. Okay, habitat, the place where the organism live. Habitat ecology. So ecology can be classified into two types that we have learned. Individual species studies called as Autecology, and community species, or the species that is seen in a community we are going to study, that is the Synecology. Okay. So in Autecology we are giving more specialization to population, and in Synecology we are going to give about as a whole community or ecosystem. So what are the basic requirements of ecosystem? The ecosystem means what? A tree or a forest ecosystem, or you can say about forest ecosystem or pond ecosystem. Okay, so there are a lot of ecosystem. Water as an ecosystem. Okay, so in that ecosystem it should have a constant and never-ending input of energy, because why? Energy should be there for anything to happen. To any process to happen, energy is required. So energy is the functional existence of ecosystem. If there is only an energy, there will be a sustainable life. So energy is the first functional existence of ecosystem. So the materials has to be regularly and repeatedly cycled. There should be cycle. You have learned about hydrogen cycle. You have learned about water cycle. Now you have learned about mineral cycles, phosphorus, sulfur. All these are cycles. So there is a continuous cyclic repetition of materials. Okay, so there is a recycling process. So energy fixation and energy flow will make the ecosystem very active. Okay, but the flow of energy is always unidirectional. You have learned about 10% law of limiting factor, that is 10% law. From each and every trophic level only 10% of energy is being used. Not from the sun you are getting energy. Not that full comes to the earth's surface. Only a part of it comes to the earth's surface, and from one trophic level to another trophic only 10% energy is being transferred. It's a linear non-cycle. But mineral cycle is always cyclic. Mineral cycle is always cyclic, but energy is always unidirectional. Energy is always unidirectional. Okay, unidirectional. But mineral cycle is always cyclic. Okay, is that clear? Now we are going to learn about characteristics of ecosystem. What are the major characteristics? The same basic requirement of ecosystem itself, but we are going to learn about characteristics of ecosystem. Characteristic, when you talk about characteristic of ecosystem, you have to learn about 2 R's. resistance and resilience. Okay, what is resistance and resilience? In your book page number 62 it is there. Resistance means what? You are going to resist from, you are going to what? Resist from the disturbance that has been existing in the environment. Okay, resistance means you are going to get stability. Okay, so that is resistance. And what about resilience? If there is any loss happen to the ecosystem, it should recover it, right? It should recover it from the loss and it should produce a new environment. So in return it should rejuvenate. Okay, so resistance and resilience. Resistance means what? Overcoming the disturbances in the ecosystem. Resilience means what? Resilience is the to recover from the loss. If there is any disturbance, that kind of disturbance has to be overcome. Okay, for example, if we talk about flood, so after flood everything has to become back, restoration. Okay, resilience and resistance. Now we are going to learn about that is one of the character, or 2 hours are the one of the character, and the remaining points we have discussed in the basic requirement of ecosystem, that is there should be regular cycling and exchange of minerals, there should be nutrient cycling. Okay, that we have already discussed nutrient cycling. The flow of minerals is always cyclic. Okay, and there should be constant input of energy. Without energy there will be no existence of life. For sustainable energy, whom we want? We want sustainable ecosystem, we want energy. So energy has to be there. Okay, there should be constant and regular cyclic movement of minerals, and also there should be linear and non-cyclic flow of energy. So if we get energy, the ecosystem will be nutritionally and energetically self-sufficient. Okay, there should be flow of energy should be unidirectional, and the nutrient has to be in cyclic form. Okay, so the energy requirement of ecosystem depends upon the structure. If there is complex structure means lesser energy is only needed. If it is simple structure, lot of energy will be utilized. So energy, the structure of ecosystem also determines the transfer of energy. Then we are going to learn about ecosystem or cybernetic system. Why we are saying cybernetic system? Why we are saying it as cybernetic system? Because there is a self-regulation. Cybernetic system. Okay, cybernetic system means in an ecosystem, all the organisms there should be self-regulation. Okay, if for example human is having hormones has to be regulated, otherwise over hormone production can lead to lot of disorders. So in our body itself there is a feedback mechanism. That means what? If we have anger, our adrenaline will produce more hormones in order to suppress the anger or stress. So if we have, if there is no any suppressing mechanism, what happens? Our hormone gets overexpressed and it can cause a lot of diseases. So every organism has the inbuilt mechanism in order to self-regulate, to maintain their stable and steady nature. Homeostasis. Hope you heard about homeostasis, because they can adjust with the environment, adapt with the environment. If you put the fish in the fresh water, it can adjust with the outside environment, or it can maintain its constant body temperature. Humans are going to polar region. So what happened? There again they can adjust with the outside environmental conditions. So these are some of the characteristics. There should be a dynamic relationship, equilibrium. There should be a dynamic equilibrium between the population. If it exceeds the carrying capacity, what happens? The ecosystem gets distorted. Okay, so again we are going to learn about components of ecosystem, that we know abiotic and biotic factors. So we are going to deal with abiotic factors, which are the physical factors and chemical factors. Physical factors means what? Climatic, edaphic and topographic factors. Chemical factors is inorganic minerals and organic materials. So first we will move with climatic factors, abiotic condition, physical factors, and physical factors. In that you can see climatic condition, because environmental condition has greater role in the growth of plants or existence of the plant. Example, our heat, temperature, pressure, humidity, rainfall all comes under climatic condition. And what about edaphic? Edaphic means what? Soil factor. Soil. Okay. Soil. Hope you remember soil. The soil texture. The productivity is based upon the soil textures. So soil capacity, its chemical property, its holding capacity of water. Okay, soil air, soil water. Okay, what are the materials that is found in the soil? That all influence the growth of ecosystem. Next is topological factors. Topological factor means what? Geographical areas. Okay, the shape of an area. Earth. Earth is a, if you look into the earth, it is a spherical like, and it is having a lot of mountains, latitude, longitude variations, hills and valleys. All these comes under topographic factors. Next is chemical factors. What are the chemical factors? pH, atmospheric gases like oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen. Okay, all that comes under chemical factors. So chemical factors can be classified into inorganic and organic. What are inorganic? Inorganic minerals, that includes our mineral nutrients like mineral salts. Okay, you know that some inorganic nutrients. Example, if you talk about mineral potassium nitrate or KOH, potassium hydroxide, NaOH, all comes under mineral salts. Okay, or mineral nutrients. That all comes under inorganic. What about organic? Organic are carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, all comes under organic. Okay, organic. So this mineral nutrients can be divided into macro minerals and micro minerals. Macro means what? They are found in very good quantity. But what about micro minerals? They are seen in very lesser amount. Okay. So macro minerals or major minerals are the nutrients that is needed for the plants in larger amount. Okay. Larger amount we want. In larger amount we want what? Our macro elements. Macro means in higher quantity we want. Okay. In higher quantity we want macro, higher. Okay. And what about micro? Micro we want only very lesser amount. Okay. Lesser amount. So when we talk about macro element, you can have a code here. CHO, C-H-O P, okay, K, CHO. Look at the remaining. CHO means what? Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, sulfur. Okay, CHOPS. That you can learn. For what? Macro. And for micronutrients you can say copper, zinc, manganese, okay, manganese, cobalt, all comes under where? All comes under micronutrients. These are the understanding. So today's class we have learned about the classification of ecology, how you want to classify ecology, what are the basic requirement of ecology, ecosystem, and characteristics of ecosystems very important, and abiotic characters only we have dealt. Next class we will learn about the biotic or biotic components. Okay, so that is today's understanding. Hope you understood.